If you guys have been out of the loop for a minute, here's the thing. Twitter's kind of popping off. I know, it kind of seems like it's all the way back in 2012 at this point in time where Twitter is the place to be. But ever since Elon Musk took over, completely cleaned house, it's kind of been a bit of a different animal. Now, I got my old account back and just decided to reactivate it in whatever form or fashion that is. Just more or less making sure that the handle stays under my control and it doesn't get co-opted because, God forbid, my channel or my profile ends up blowing up or anything like that and somebody swoops me on that. That would suck, that it would end up being Don Consuelo 52 or something stupid like that. We wouldn't want any of that stuff. So I ended up catching it because I want to see how Twitter ends up developing. It's like, okay, that's all nice and wonderful and fantastic that Elon Musk, of all of the billionaires to buy it, he's the best one situated in order to return it to any form of a free speech platform. Now, I have to see how he maneuvers. And in the early stages, it's been kind of hilarious because he's just been memeing motherfuckers directly into the ground. And one of the casualties in the wake of this stuff is the fucking White House. This is shit you would not have even sniffed a few weeks ago, okay? The White House would have had free range to post whatever dog shit they fucking wanted to, never even get close to being fact-checked, because how many dumb things can we go through back in just the past couple of years that have been tweeted out? And at the time, okay, we don't have to even worry about the revolving door of information that's out there in order to just go back and fact-check old posts. That shit was wrong when it was posted. So, for this to be the first time for it to come around and there to be an automatic disclaimer right there at the bottom, it's definitely a move in the right direction. White House deletes post after getting fact-checked on Twitter. Yeah, they wanted to go out there and pump up some, frankly, numbers that they don't really need to, because isn't the prevailing consensus that like Social Security is basically done and dusted? Like, everybody knows that it's a fucking pyramid scheme right now. To try to tout that there's a strong Social Security infrastructure from the federal government at this point in time, everybody knows that's cap. Why are you trying to lie to us so openly? It's like, well, hey man, it wasn't going to slide this time around. Or you could have just added another tweet for context, but no, you took the bitch road on this one. You fucking deleted it because you didn't want any of that smoke. Sucks to suck. The White House on Wednesday deleted a Twitter post after it was fact-checked for making an inaccurate claim about the Social Security cost of living adjustment that was recently announced. Hold on to your seats, kids, 'cause it's about to get bumpy. Seniors are getting the biggest increase in their Social Security checks in 10 years through President Biden's leadership. Who fucking cares, okay? Who's gonna see that to begin with? What percentage of of senior citizens, of actual fucking retirement age folks, are on Twitter? What is there, like 16? And if we take Congress out of the equation on that, 2, maybe? Okay, a couple of those old ancient fucking celebrities, maybe like Cher and Stephen King, okay? That's about it. The only people who would actually benefit from this fucking shit. But it's like, who are you trying to curry favor with, okay? All of those millennials and Gen Zers who don't give a fuck about anybody who's not them, okay? Like, hey, oh good, the guy that I voted for just gave my grandparents a little bit of a raise, even though that they're sexist, bigot, misogynists. It's like, they don't care. It's like, why would you bother just touting that, okay? Because you take a look at inflation, and it's what, like 9.2%? Okay, cool. They got a 10% increase. Yay. Or no, all they said was the biggest increase in 10 years. Okay, cool. But with record-setting inflation that is at a 40-year high, what does that really mean? Okay. However, the post failed to mention that COLA adjustment was due to surging decades-high inflation. Oh shit. Okay, so just even me connecting the dots using a little bit of common sense, I came to the conclusion that the fact-checkers over at Twitter came to immediately, and they're like, we don't care what the post is on this one. We're just going to go after, the letter of the text that's been tweeted out. Sucks to suck that it's the White House, though. COLA adjustments have been automatically done every year for decades due to federal law. Oh, shit. Okay. and the adjustments are not contingent on any Biden administration policies. The point was incomplete, the White House told the Epoch Times via email. The White House said that the complete point was outlined in a recent statement from a gay black lady who, has a lot of explaining to do about her previous election denialism, and then all of a sudden just walking it back saying that, no man, it's the Republicans, they're all the election deniers that are out there, even though you can still hear just off in the distance Democrats decrying the results of 2018, 2016, 2014, 2012. I think you get the fucking point. CNN fact checker Daniel Dale, in response, accused the White House of making an inaccurate claim. Oh, after it was invoked to do so? Yeah, CNN, man, they're just fucking failing across the board, so now they're just trying to grasp at relevance, like, oh look at, actually, now we're impartial. Nobody's watching, nobody fucking cares. You are the entire fucking circus. You're not just one singular clown show, okay? You are P.T. Barnum, you are the fucking Ringling Brothers, you are the entire fucking show at this point in time. Nobody cares. That's quite the spin, Dale wrote, adding, the size of Social Security checks is linked by law to inflation. The year's increase is unusually big because the inflation rate is unusually big. Great, wonderful, fantastic. You are failing. So that means more free money is going to be going out from the federal government, therefore negatively impacting inflation. So guess what? There's going to be another raise next year. Okay, cool, great. And again, so that's just one thing that Twitter's been doing that's kind of fucking hilarious, okay? Fact checking the White House, that's a pretty big feather in your cap, okay? So what is Twitter going to be doing, okay? Because everybody's just kind of waiting, lurking and seeing, okay? Some people erroneously think that the moment that Elon came in and started knocking over mailboxes, kicking people out, becoming the sole proprietor of the board, it's just going to be the old wild, wild west out there. Yeah, not quite, okay? Because one of the first things that he tweeted out, and we went through all that stuff at the time, last Friday? Jesus Christ, it's only been a week that he's been... Anyways, no, sorry, that one just immediately sprung to mind. I'll have that one put up. That video probably put up. Might do it today, might do it tomorrow or something like that. But even still, it's going to be kind of time sensitive. That'll recap anything that I'm missing out right here. Because, yeah, I've been out of the cut on YouTube for a minute. But everybody over on Rumble, you're already seeing the stuff. So we are still up to date as of today, but that'll provide a little bit more context if anything's missing out here. We're just seeing what's going on from today forward. Okay, so 6 sweeping changes Elon Musk is seeking at Twitter. So what's he going to actually do? Okay, because yes, like I said before, there was a couple of things that he immediately tweeted out, and on top of him changing his bio to Chief Twit and firing the CEO, the CFO, and the stupid censorship czar. That Tim Pool, the only good thing that beanie-bedecked midget ever did was take her apart Vijagaja. They're all gone, okay? So it's Elon Musk in charge. And one of the things that he said was he was going to convene this panel before anybody showed back up, and then provided a little bit more context that it's probably going to be several weeks before any of the banned accounts end up coming back online, okay? And as of right now, numbers are kind of circulating as to how many accounts have been deactivated, how many have just been canceled outright, mostly because maybe they're bots and shit, because he's taking a look at some of the code that's out there right now, okay? Or at least his people are taking a look at some of the code, maybe getting rid of some of the bot accounts. Like there's somewhere in on or around 900,000 accounts that are just gone right now. Not to say that they were active or anything like that, but those numbers are also coming from an incredibly unreliable source. The same motherfucker that was hooked up from Amber Heard, Meghan Markle, and a bunch of other fucking degenerates, okay? C Boozy or Chris Boozy over there at Bot Sentinel, who's getting the fucking brakes beat off of him by every lawyer on YouTube. The motherfucker is a terrible fucking source of information, so he might be right about that one, but then again, I don't want to give him any legitimacy because he's kind of lacking in that area. So that's kind of the numbers and figures that are out there right now. Just no way to corroborate that. That's just from a fucking lackadaisical source that said that all of the support for Johnny Depp were bot accounts, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. How do you back that up? Oh, they're bot accounts. It's like, you're a really good social media investigator. Anywho, what does Elon actually want to do? Because that's what we're going to be looking for, right? Okay, industrialist Elon Musk. I've heard of him referred to as many different things, but industrialist, I don't need to scroll through the comments, but okay, that's a new one. Eccentric billionaire. Genius, strange man with a proclivity for memes, professional shitposter. There we go. Has big plans for Twitter now that he owns the social media juggernaut, the subscription service to possibly reviving the media app Vine. Yeah, that's interesting. Don't know if that's a joke or not. He put out a poll and it was what, I think it ended up being 70-30 that people want to see Vine back. If you forget what that was, short form video content that was all over Twitter. And hey, now look at what every other social media platform's all about, putting out short form vertical video content. That was the one thing that Twitter was actually setting the trend on, and then those motherfuckers just yeeted it. And it's like, a good decision. Glad somebody else is taking over, because you might actually make it profitable, might actually make it worthwhile. But we'll get to all of those decisions here in due time. Well, change is coming. Change is coming. How will the San Francisco-based company be different now that Musk is in charge of the social network? When's he going to be moving the headquarters? Because that'll be a big fucking change, but I don't think he's alluded to that in any form or fashion, okay? Here are 6 sweeping changes that he has proposed. Content Moderation Council. This is probably the big one, okay? And the one where it's like, okay, cool, everything that you're doing is pretty good so far, and then you announce the people that are going to be on this council, and oof, fucking mega oof. Nuked from orbit, oof. It's like, okay. Is this just a misstep, or is this just a case of a new boss, same as the old boss? Anyways, self-described Chief Twit. Yeah, we don't know for sure. Is that still his bio? Don't have anything of that up there right now, but whatever. We'll get for that. We'll move it forward, because we also got to look through some of these hilarious trolls that are going on right now. Trolls by Elon Musk, because he's in a whole bunch of replies, doing a whole bunch of retweets. This dude is on fucking demon time. In a tweet on October 28th, that Twitter will be establishing a content moderation council with widely diverse viewpoints. We need to underline that. Widely diverse viewpoints. Spoiler, that's not the case. And it doesn't even favor, you know, the side that's been, let's call it what it is, okay? It's severely oppressed on these social media platforms. It's all center and leftist opinions. That's the fucking way it is, okay? There's some conservative think tanks that are on top there, but you take a look at some of the tweet history, some of the social media footprint that's out there for the guys that are in charge, and yeah, I got the same old, you know, Trump is literally Hitler, there's Nazis in the White House. Okay, cool, great. Just bask in the afterglow of this shit right now. This is still the honeymoon phase of Elon Musk owning Twitter, so we'll see if anything changes. Ultimately, he's going to have the authority, but if he's delegating responsibility of content moderation to this panel, not all that enthusiastic about what the fuck we're seeing right here. But I reserve the right until they make their decisions. He later clarified in a quote tweet that we have not made any changes to the company's content policies. Yeah, of course, because as soon as this was coming out, oh boy, all of the spicy takes that everybody's been saying in hushed tones on different platforms, oh, they were coming out in full force. And like a 500% increase in the hard R being just tweeted out. It's like, guys, it's like, okay, I understand. That's kind of like watching a content creator that you like, and then they have a Rumble channel and they do like an exclusive live stream with a live chat that's over there. All you're gonna see is rainbow F slurs and fucking hard R's, okay? And then try to just type them out to make them look like they're just funny little pictures. And it's like, I get it, but okay, it's like free speech is fine, right? Free speech absolute. There's nothing that you can say that's actually going to hurt me outside of like clearly defamatory, clearly libelous statements, okay? Things that are actually wrong, actual calls to violence, and that's a very high threshold, okay? Actually illegal things to say. Outside of that shit, if you want to make fun of a motherfucker, totally on point. Go for it as hard as you want. But it's like, okay, I don't want to pull up a bitch argument, but whenever you just see an entire wall of hard R's and then just rainbow F slurs, it's like, boy, you know what? There should be some limit on that type of stuff, but not really. It's just like, with great power comes great responsibility. And it's like, you're just kind of devaluing the desire for me to engage in this stuff. That's just my personal opinion. I wouldn't ban any of that stuff, too, because I think it's funny as a motherfucker. And what I say when the camera's not rolling, it doesn't look too dissimilar from a Rumble chat. Let's just go ahead and say that. Twitter will not allow anyone who was deplatformed for violating Twitter rules back onto the platform until we have a clear process for doing so. Henceforth, bringing together all of these great minds to the content moderation roundtable or whatever the fuck they're going to be doing, which will take at least a few more weeks, and then a few more weeks on top of that to reinstate those accounts, theoretically. So we're probably looking maybe the new year, or maybe it'll just be a big Christmas present where all of a sudden you're just going to see a bunch of your former followed accounts just pop back up on the platform. I had a little list that went out there, and that's probably the only reason that'll be relevant to post it back up. Yeah, I'll probably put that one up today, and it'll probably be sometime this evening. But whatever, regardless. Okay. Details remain unclear. Meanwhile, there were many questions, such as what the council's guiding principles will be, how many people will serve on the council, how will they be appointed, and how it will be different from Twitter's current content moderation program. It's at least a little bit more transparent, which is kind of weird because now it's a private company as opposed to a formerly public company. So that's kind of weird, but hey, big ups to him for that. Musk has stated before that he's open to restoring accounts of individuals who have been given lifetime bans, including former President Donald Trump. Yeah, and he sent out a couple of tweets. It's like, you can't not open up Twitter in any given time and see a spicy tweet from Elon, and I'm paraphrasing this, of course, and I don't quite have the letter, and it doesn't really need to be brought up. But he said if I had $1 for every time I was asked to bring Trump back on the platform, I wouldn't need to charge an $8 monthly fee. Nice transition, Don. The biggest change could involve an $8 per month subscription service that would allow subscribers to obtain the much desired blue check mark. And this is where all the spurging has come out. Well, that's where it's generated most of the spurging out. But there was one thing that Elon Musk did that was kind of fucking hilarious. He got into the reply section of a stupid Hillary Clinton post, and then he deleted that, mostly because there was probably a order placed into the suicide hotline by the Clintons. So he was like, I'll just go ahead and get rid of that one. It was pretty spicy. It was pretty funny. And the fact that you got to see a billionaire fact check somebody who was a billionaire of a different sense when it comes to body count. The biggest, yes, Twitter's current lords and peasant system, who has and doesn't have a blue check mark is bullshit. No, fair enough. Power to the people, blue for $8 a month. Fair enough, man, because he's actually he's offering value, okay? Because there's a couple of things that are just automatically known about the vaunted blue check mark that's out there, okay? You're verified, okay? Which, lends credibility that's out there, which is great and wonderful and fantastic, and it definitely helps people. But then it was also exposed as definitely being a hierarchy. It was definitely being exposed as, like Musk points out, the lords and peasants system, because Milo Yiannopoulos, okay, you might remember the dude, and he's somebody who should definitely be brought back because he was, if we're keeping it a buck, he was banned for incredibly erroneous, just nebulous causes, but he was verified. And then, yeah, back in the day when Tim Pool was beaten up on Vidya, of course, on the Joe Rogan Experience, right? She said one of the reasons that he lost his checkmark was because he kept changing his bio and his name, and he would falsely misrepresent, saying that he was the editor-in-chief for BuzzFeed. Motherfucker's a troll, and BuzzFeed, even back in 2016, was a fucking laughing stock. So that shit was funny. Milo was a provocateur, and then you just decided all of a sudden, still the same handle, still the same guy. Now we're just going to get rid of his verification badge. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's almost like you just want to punish him. Yeah, everybody's known that for a minute. But anyways, yeah, back to the benefits of being verified, okay? You have a certain amount of credibility because people know that is you, okay? The replies, the retweets, the likes from those people who have the blue check marks, you know that it's not just some fucking basement dweller with an anime profile picture, okay? It's the actual person, and there's an air of credibility to that, even if it's not an expert or person with a certain amount of status, okay? And then on top of that, there's also priority replies, especially if you get a really, really, really popular post that's out there with a bunch of different replies, a bunch of different quote tweets. You get a notification if somebody with a verification badge ends up responding to something that you're doing. And then also there's apparently, okay, I don't know much about this, but there's another tab that you get in your notification sphere of anybody who is verified trying to communicate with you. That might only be in the direct messages on the really back end. So I don't really know about all the current benefits that are out there, but those are things that could be theoretically afforded to anybody who wants it, but there's such a high barrier of entry. Like, people who have been verified had to go through 3, 4, 5, 6 times over to get verified, even if they filled out all of the correct qualifications to achieve that. It's one of those boys clubs type situations, okay? But I guess it would be more of a they-them club given the old regime at Twitter. But it sounds like he's trying to move more towards the verification system that the likes of Parler used to have, because my account, when I was over there, it was verified. There was a little bit of a setup that involved in that, but yeah, anybody could get verified on the platform. And as for the monthly fee, well, if you get all of these additional pro-level gimmicks on top of that, yeah, it seems all right, okay? And then you just slap on the $8 a month fee, or I don't know, what do you do, $50 or $60 a year? You give them, you know, the classic yearly discount, whatever the hell you want to do. Ultimately, this is just right now being batted around, I'm sure. But that's pissed off all of those blue checkmark people, because, oh my god, their verification status is integral to who they are as a human being. Without that verification status, oh my god, there'd be so many journalists swinging from rafters right now. Their well-being is tied to Twitter. So to make them pay an additional $8 a month, I guess that's just a bridge too far for so many people. And some of the rationale and justification for that, it's ruffled a few feathers. Some very, very funny feathers. Anyways, in a Twitter thread on November 1st, he revealed that users would receive priority in replies, mentions, and search, which he says is essential to defeat spam/scam, something that he's been on the record multiple times for being one of the central reasons, or rather one of the central issues that he wants to tackle in his ownership of Twitter, okay? Subscribers would also be given the option to post long audio, what do you mean by that, and video, and enjoy a paywall bypass for publishers willing to partner with Twitter, okay? Paid users would also see half as many ads. So it's basically a premium service. It's kind of like what YouTube has, and it's like, okay, it's a bunch of those features that, you know, just about every other video hosting service actually has for free. But given the fact that YouTube is YouTube, okay, it's as big as it is, you can kind of understand that. And I think premium is a pretty decent service. You do get enough, you know, fucking bells and whistles associated with it. And then for the people that use Twitter and are on there like that, $8 a month doesn't seem too unreasonable. And the fact that, well, it's a private company now and it can do whatever the fuck it wants. And again, it's not locking you out of being able to use your fucking account, okay? All of you social media addicted assholes, you can still log in. You're just not going to have that elevated status that gives you so much meaning in your fucking life. It could just be taken away. Or you could just, like one of the memes that he tweeted, give up one singular Starbucks drink a month. You can probably get by doing that. I would imagine so. You could probably scrape together $8 fucking bucks a month. You can buy one fewer bag of fucking Friskies for your 8 goddamn cats. This will also give Twitter a revenue stream to reward content creators. Oh, okay, cool. So I guess you can then monetize Twitter, because that's been one of those things. It's like people who were big on Twitter, it's like, how the fuck do you monetize that outside of just using it as like an advertising page, so that you could just filter people out to whatever your other endeavors are, your Etsy store, your YouTube channel, your fucking OnlyFans, whatever the hell you wanted to do. It was basically a marketing hub. But to do anything proprietarily on Twitter, nobody was making any coin on that, okay? Like a lot of people, okay, a lot of big live streamers, what they would do was they would simultaneously stream to what? Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, Facebook, all of those different places. Facebook's monetized. Facebook runs ads. And then Twitter on the other side, like, I know they run ads on certain stuff that's out there, but you probably make even less than what you would on Rumble. Like, I love Rumble and all that stuff, but their monetization system right now is kind of fucking ass. So yeah, if that works, if they're just creating a pot in order to pay out the rest of the creators, isn't that kind of, if you take a look at it, okay, if that's going to be empowering the creators by paying $8 a month from the people that afford it, Wouldn't that kind of tickle the fancy of some certain socialists that you might see just a little bit on screen right there? Interesting. Imagine that. You love socialism when it doesn't come to your door. Anyways, essentially this raises the cost of crime on Twitter by several orders of magnitude. Musk added in a separate tweet. The dude's been on fire, okay? I don't know if anything's getting done at Tesla or SpaceX right now, okay? Because all he's been doing is spending all of his fucking time retweeting, tweeting, and replying. Like, the dude's on fucking... He's on another level right now. It's kind of funny to see, to be completely honest. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, yes, representative of New York and of idiots, for example, mocked the idea in a tweet. Listen to this big-brained explanation. Holy shit. A billionaire earnestly trying to sell people on the idea that free speech is actually a $8 a month subscription plan. Bitch, you can still log into your fucking account. That is your personal account here. Because here's what I'm thinking, okay? If this subscription service ultimately gets put in place, think of all of the government accounts that are going to be on there, okay? It's just going to be like fucking gas cards, okay? It's just going to be lumped in, and guess what? The taxpayer is going to end up funding for the verification status of all of your different elected officials that are out there, because they have to have a certain amount of credibility. I understand that. Okay, but we're also going to end up flipping the bill on that. And that'll be every fucking government official. So everybody who holds elected office and they're on social media will have a verification status. And it'll just be outsourced that way. I could see that totally making sense. Or maybe those will be devoid of being charged. Okay, if you have the little identifier that you're a member of, I don't know, Swedish Parliament, okay, you're good to go. You don't have to pay for that. If that's the official government account, they're devoid of being, charged for any of that shit. Or it just gets lumped into the taxpayer funds, like what I'm thinking. That could possibly be what happens, but that's AOC's account. That's the one that's used the most, but she also has Representative AOC account. One of those two, okay? The official congressional account. But you could still use that for your fucking verified status. Otherwise, you're still big over on Instagram as well. Like, you can still log into all these places. Nobody's taking away your account. And there's no free speech. It's not like, people that aren't verified can't say the exact same shit, okay? You might not get the same amount of eyeballs on you, which is ultimately what you want, because how many laws does she actually pass, but how much attention does she get in the media? Interesting. It's almost like solipsism is innate and intrinsic to women, regardless of their age, status, or location. Anywho, Musk replied, "Your feedback is appreciated. Now pay $8. This motherfucker is just wild out here. It's very funny. The new service also garnered the attention of best-selling novelist Stephen King. Oh my god. If you're a fan of Stephen King's work, like I know a lot of people are, like if you want to lose an immense amount of respect for him, also if you're like a big Star Wars fan or anything like that, and you want to lose a ton of respect for Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, just follow those motherfuckers on Twitter for a couple of hours. You will see some of the worst fucking takes that you will ever see in your entire life. And if you know, you know, and if you don't, you can educate yourself appropriately, because it is, holy shit. Like, you never thought that people that were so talented at their certain crafts would be so fucking vacuous and devoid of rational thought in other areas, but Stephen King, Mark Hamill, they are all examples of that. The Dave Bautista, the former wrestler and actor at this point in time. Who else is real bad? Oh yeah, Meathead from All in the Family, Rob Reiner. Oh god. Oh, and Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman and his TDS, that shit was fucking legendary. He was talking about like dicks and shit, and it's like how Trump would want, like he was, like that dude was fucking off. Okay, but I guess he has a lot of space in that big giant fucking dome of his to just rattle around a bunch of quasi queer thoughts. Whatever. Twitter cannot rely entirely on advertisers. How about $8? He said to Stephen King, who warned that he would be gone like Enron if a purported $20 monthly fee would be implemented. Yeah, that might be a bridge too far, but $8 a month, especially for the people that spend, literally 20 hours a fucking day on the site, okay? People who have only had their accounts for a couple of years but have a 5-digit tweet count, like, dude, chill. There was a time, okay, like it was a significant, I think it was in on or around a year I was on there originally before I just pieced out and deactivated my account to begin with. Like, I was tweeting out all of my videos and then also shitposting a couple of replies, which we'll see how this thing ultimately ends up shaking out. I'll probably come back in some form or fashion on that, dependent on the outcome of this stuff, but I only just touched 1,000 tweets by tweeting out the 3 videos a day. It's like, okay, cool. To see people have, no word of life, 50, some places 100,000 if they're just, you know, from way back in the day, if they've had their account for 10 years, like, you need to chill. Like, seriously, like, stop it. Get some help. A couple more things that Elon's talking about before we get into the main event. New York Times reported October 30th that the new Twitter owner ordered job cuts across the company. Musk denied the report, saying that that tweet is false, but there's obviously going to be some trimming that happens. Separate Bloomberg article report that Musk would slash Twitter's payroll by 50%, 3,700 jobs as early as November 4th. Now, that'd be tomorrow. I guess we'll see when we see. But yeah, he's already yeeted some of the top executives, and it's like, well, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. An everything app. Oh, right, yeah, because he was talking about doing this whole X thing in on or around the exact same time he was talking about wanting to do business with Rumble. I don't know what you're planning to do here. If you want like a one-stop internet shop and then just simply call it X, like, bro, you need to work on your fucking title skills. But regardless, I don't know what you're trying to do with all that stuff, but I'd be interested. Like, yeah, hey, man. The internet needs a bit of a shake-up, and you're crazy enough to do it, so let's see where the shit goes. Another idea that Musk has floated around is turning Twitter into a something akin to a Swiss Army knife. It would transform into an all-in-one tool to do anything comparable to China's WeChat. Yeah, where he expresses certain opinions that he wouldn't express over on Twitter or on any other Western media. I'll just leave that at that. The app has more than 1 billion monthly users. Yes, because it's the only social media over there government allowed in, you know, communist China. As it allows the participants of social networks send money, reserve a restaurant table, book ride shares and airplane tickets, and executive e-commerce transactions. Yeah, and then your account can be deleted if your social credit score falls below a certain level. Therefore, you don't have access to anything. Okay, cool, great, wonderful. Why would you want to base something off of something that already has such a bad reputation around it is beyond me, but you do you. Buying Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app, because X gonna give it to you? Is this like a really long fucking troll that you're trying to pull off here? You basically live on WeChat in China. Yeah, that's not good. I understand because you're the owner of this stuff and you want it to be as popular for your user base as possible. I understand the thought process behind that, but yeah, if he's just openly saying this stuff, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. Tech experts agree that it would be a challenging ecosystem to develop, mainly because of the logistical issues requiring enormous in-house infrastructure and broad partnership with other companies. Privacy concerns would be another hurdle, as a super app would allow the company to know everything about its users. Like they don't already? Come on now. An open source algorithm. Yeah, he's talked about that for a long time by making the source code just open source and allowing anybody to just refine it and work on it however they want to. I was like, okay, cool. That's fantastic. That's some high level shit that only a couple of people would really take advantage of. But hey, man, there's some good shit that's been created off of open source technology. And bring back Vine. Yeah, this one could have been a bit of a joke. Don't really know about that in any form or fashion, but hey, man, bring back Vine. Yeah, 70% thought it was a good idea. Mr. Beast, popular YouTube star, stated that it would be hilarious if Musk relaunched Vine and competed with TikTok. And yeah, that's kind of what I laid out to begin with. It's like Vine was, well, kind of TikTok 1.0, Instagram Reels 1.0, YouTube Shorts 1.0. Am I missing anything? Does Facebook have an equivalent, or is that just too much for those boomer soccer moms that are out there? Anyways, Elon Musk been on a fucking tear right now, but somebody who just needs a little bit of that smoke, okay, needs to stay at least a touch relevant. Our good old girl Frosk right here. This was the last video, okay? Her specifically was the centerpiece of the final video that I was allowed to put out before my big old long suspension. Hence why we're going to be doing this video right here. That's the only impetus. Other than that, I don't really care what fucking happens with Twitter. If it's going to be good, cool, I'll hop on. If it's just going to be the exact same shit over and over again, all right, deuces. I'll just keep it on there whenever I need to, you know, lobby Team YouTube to reassess the strike, and then it just ultimately goes nope, and it's like, okay, well, at least I tried. It's one of those things that you kind of need for networking in order to contact anybody. It's like we're in this weird intermediary time where it's one of those things where you kind of need a landline because your grandparents still want to call you every once in a while and they don't like or trust cell phones or some shit like that. So you need to keep it around for a couple of reasons. Okay, maybe you have a fax machine at home. If you're like really ancient, we're kind of in this weird intermediary period where everybody tries to talk. Depending on what circles you run, either everybody just runs Messenger or everybody's DMing on Twitter. And if YouTube would just get their head out of their ass, because I think they used to have this in some form or fashion, some sort of proprietary internal messaging system. It's like, bruh, I thought you guys had this back in the day. You are the only social media platform that doesn't have an inbuilt messenger system. Fucking TikTok has it, for Christ's sakes. Everybody else, except for YouTube, the most popular form of social media, okay, outside of Facebook, but that's still the biggest video hosting platform that's out there. Doesn't have internal messaging system. Bruh, what are you guys doing? You'll fucking fix a couple of text fonts and you'll make your dark theme a little bit more poppin', but you won't, fix anything basic like just nebulous strikes that end up not really fucking making sense. I understand. Another discussion for another day, but we got Frosk out here making one of the dumbest fucking statements that she's made in a couple of weeks. Let's keep it at that, okay? Former G4 host Frosk disingenuously attempts to frame actor Henry Cavill as problematic. I don't know what got her to pop off on this. It's like, shouldn't you be sending out resumes in order to try to get hired, you broke bitch? And it's like, okay, cool. Henry Cavill's finally getting the break in Hollywood that he deserves, because I was thinking that this dude was cursed, okay? He has the looks. He has the acting range, okay? It's like, did he kill somebody in a previous life? Or does every Hollywood executive have it out for him? Did he, like, fuck all of their daughters? Okay, does his agent have compromising footage of him in college or some shit like that? Like, I don't know why this fuck isn't the biggest movie star that's out there. But then you hear some of his interviews, and then you start to understand, because he's one of those rare guys who's fucking based as hell, and you love to see it because he's good at what he does, and he is the most excellent casting of Superman that we've seen probably since Christopher Reeve. Like, there's nobody else that's close, okay? Dean Cain is a great guy as well. Is that kind of a weird trait of people who have been cast as Superman are awfully based, but even still, okay? Dean Cain, great guy, decent host for Ripley's Believe It or Not. Was that what he was? Yeah, but not even close to being the same type of guy to hold the gravitas necessary to be the most popular comic book character of all fucking time, okay? That's Henry Cavill, okay? People like him, people want to root for him, but he never got the break until now, when it was finally announced that after DC decided to stop dropping the ball, that they would just be like, okay, cool, he's going to be Superman, and we're actually going to give him a script and a real fucking director this time. We're going to give him an opportunity to succeed instead of blow up a bunch of CGI buildings. And everybody's like, thank fucking God, we want to like him, we want to like your products, just stop fucking everything up, okay? And then he left The Witcher, which was another popular series, okay? It's kind of a spin-off of Elric, but oh no, you don't want to say the quiet part out loud. But it was another project that's out there just kind of languishing on Netflix, because I think it's over on Netflix. But it was just kind of doing its thing, not all that well, and there's a bunch of problems behind that, and he just said he's going to be leaving the project, and a couple of things behind the scenes that's like they weren't respecting the source material. He's being replaced by the not Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth, his brother or some shit like that. And then he'll probably get another season of that, and then the fucking show will get canceled. It's like, nobody cares. It was like, it was a cool novelty when it began. It's like, oh, The Witcher, those games are popular. And it's like, oh, okay. Oh, and you got Henry Cavill. That's pretty good casting. And it's like, oh, the show sucks. Oh, okay, cool, great, wonderful, fantastic. And it just kind of languished. And then it was only relevant when the star said he's going to be exiting the project because he doesn't have enough time. And then a couple other things is like maybe he wasn't getting compensated financially enough for his position to be there. And then also, the source material idea was also floated around at the same time. But of course, he's keeping it above board because this guy's a total fucking G and he doesn't want to slander anybody leaving a project, okay? He's an upstanding citizen. Now compare and contrast that with Frosk, who will not take responsibility for fucking anything. And then seeing his massive meteoric rise to success Oh, you know this bitch was going to try to cancel him in some form or fashion, right? She needs some sort of smoke that's out there, but she wasn't ready for what smoke actually showed up on her front door. In an apparent bid to retain her relevance following the collapse of G4's recent revival, which she caused and wouldn't take any responsibility for, former network host Indiana Black Frosk to her, I would say friends, but can anybody tolerate that bitch? Has attempted and failed to frame former Netflix Witcher star Henry Cavill as problematic. Really pulling out the big guns for this one too. After 3 seasons of watching Netflix butcher author Andrzej Sapkowski's original work, original's a bit of a stretch. Cavill announced his exit from the streaming giant's live action adaptation of The Witcher on October 29th. Taking to his personal Instagram account and see, like, the dude is posting, like, source material, posts out this very long and incredibly respectful screed that's out there. I love my time being there, but I gotta depart. I can't afford and I can't allocate the allotted time in order to respect everything that I want to, and I'm just moving on to other projects. But my love for The Witcher will always remain. Godspeed, you know, some of the best years of my life, all that fucking jargon. But you know what? He was above board because he's an above board guy. He's never given anybody a reason to see him otherwise, unless you want to be disingenuous about it. Okay, taking to his personal Instagram account, the Superman actor informed fans that my journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures, and alas, I will be laying down my medallion and my swords for season 4. In my stead, the fantastic Mr. Liam Hemsworth will be taking up the mantle of the White Wolf. He then revealed, as with the greatest of literary characters, I pass the torch in the reverence for the time spent embodying Geralt and enthusiasm to see Liam's take on the most fascinating and nuanced of men. Concluding his post with a well wish for the Hunger Games star. That's another stretch. Cavill asserted, Liam, good sir, this character has such a wonderful depth to him. Enjoy diving in and seeing what you can find. Like, how could you not like this guy? Like, that's just a fucking boss-ass response, okay? You could have just been like, deuces, the production sucked, I'm off to bigger and better things. Here are Geralt's balls, good luck, Liam, fuck off. He could have done that if he wanted to, or he could have just been cunty and not put anything out. But instead, he put a loving tome out there about how much he loved working on the project, but decided enough was enough. Was very cordial about that. So what could you take issue with that about? Of course. Well, many met this news with a mixture of emotions, ranging from regret, the wasted potential of his casting, kind of like what was happening when the idea that he wouldn't be Superman anymore was like, oh fuck, he's perfect casting as Superman, but here comes fucking old Captain Slow-Mo, and, you know, on-the-nose imagery comes around, and he wants to tell a fucking hackneyed story in the dark. Great, wonderful, fantastic. Of his casting, to relief that the actor no longer had to work with such bastardized material, Frosk saw an opportunity to virtue signal. Oh, she tried to go viral. Oh, they don't. Oh, man, do they even have the fucking terrifying ratio? It's like, it's hilarious, right? Like, at the time that I seen it, it was like 2,900 replies to about a handful of likes. Like, this shit got blown out of the water because everybody's seen it for what it was. Like, this was an opportunity to try to tear down somebody with material that is either widely known and non-controversial. So you don't really have a foot to stand on, and you're already known as an internet lol cow. So guess what, man? Hopefully you got a rainbow wig and a fucking big honky nose in your severance package from G4, because bitch, you a clown. Henry Cavill said some very questionable things around Me Too and dated a 19-year-old as a 30+. How could I love this guy anymore? Okay, he said coming from Frosk, okay, questionable things around Me Too, like, I don't know, maybe some people probably shouldn't lose their careers off the back of baseless allegations from years past. Yeah, that would probably piss her off a little bit, but endear him to anybody who has fucking 2 cents to rub together. And dated 19-year-olds at 30? Oh no, 2 consenting adults engaged in a relationship, and also big fucking ups to my guy for, you know, capitalizing on the age gap. 30 and 19. Hey, yo, tell me more about how great this guy is. Okay. Seeing people throw themselves at the feet of the Witcher is weird. The show is whatever at best. It's like, bruh, you actually got that one right. The show is whatever at best, but people appreciate, you know, the books, as bastardized as they are. They like the games. For whatever reason, they've seen this as excellent casting, which, yeah, if you're familiar with the story that's there, it looks pretty accurate, right? He's a good actor, and he's a well-loved individual, and they're like, no, fuck, man. Thought that they could finally turn it around. It's highly unlikely, but, shit. Oh, well, better luck next time. Best of luck in your future endeavors. All that kind of shit. But, yo, Frosk missing the point. What is it? A day that ends in Y. Frosk's mention of Cavill's questionable Me Too comments is in reference to an interview the actor gave to GQ Australia in 2018. Okay, cool. I just threw my ideas out there. I didn't know if there was actual receipts for this or not. Okay, let's see what he said. Asked by the publication of his thoughts on the movement, Cavill asserted, stuff has to change, obviously, before briefly pausing and subsequently adding, but there's something wonderful about a man chasing a woman. My dude, right? The fucking guy. Hey, yo, what's problematic about that? He's just, I don't know, expressing what it's like to be a guy. Just for fuck's sakes. What's Frost concerned about that? Ain't she I was going to say the bad word for lesbian. U-Haul renter. I think a woman should be wooed and chased. That's the way that it goes. And then chased also in the alternate meaning of the word. But maybe I'm old-fashioned for thinking that, he continued. It's very difficult to do that if there are certain rules in place. Because then it's like, well, I don't want to go up to her and talk to her because I'm going to get called a rapist or something. Now, he posited. Now, you really can't pursue someone further than no. It's like, okay, cool. But then there's, why'd you give up? And it's like, well, because I didn't want to go to jail. Fair enough. That's the opinion of a lot of people that are out there, and that's why women are becoming more and more miserable that's out there. Because people, and if we wanted to get to the root cause of Me Too, it was a bunch of people who were untalented enough to ascend the ladder in Hollywood, just decided to replace talented guys with less talented female counterparts, and now we're just kind of bearing the fruit of those rotten trees now with all of the different productions that are out there. So the women that foisted these ideas, J.J. Abrams' wife, that name sound familiar? All of those women, yeah man, all of the ones that accused Bill Cosby way back in the cut, had no problem with it all the way up until somebody started to make a little fucking noise about it. Looking at you, perpetual victim and a constant attention whore. Janice Dickinson. Man, fuck that bitch. Not literally, though. I wouldn't with Frosk's dick. But Cavill's 1,000% correct. Meanwhile, her mentioning of him having dated a 19-year-old, like, can we get a slow clap for that? Because that is that's every man's dream. Refers to Cavill's ex-girlfriend Tara King, a British woman whom he shared a brief relationship between 2015 and 2016. 19 and 20-year-old, and then sent her on her way. My man. While Frosk undoubtedly expected her tweet to earn her praise and adulation of her more gender and identity politics-obsessed peers, it was instead met with disagreement from nearly everyone who read it, including her own fans and supporters. Oh shit. He was in a consensual adult relationship, sarcastically asked YouTuber Jake Randall. Horrifying. I don't know who that dude is. He kind of looks like Great Value Johnny Gargano, but good for him. Weird. Way to out yourself, countered Frosk. Oh my god. As someone who is 31, sorry to hear about that. I can't imagine ever dating a teenager. Consenting fucking adult. Stop trying to conflate all of that shit, you fucking lonely spinster. We are in vastly different life stages. Yeah, she's coming at this as a woman, and yeah, no, exactly. Because a guy at 19 years old has no sexual market value. Might look good, but does he have dollars to his name? Okay, has he accomplished anything in life? Has he done anything that would make him attractive as a man? No, he hasn't. Meanwhile, you want to reverse that shit? A woman at 19 years old? Is she at the peak of her sexual market value? Oh, you fucking bet. So yeah, if a suave guy in his 30s with millions of dollars, okay, a good reputation, wants to sweep you off your feet, slides into your DMs, it's fucking game over. But then again, Frosk doesn't understand much, and that's kind of a high concept for her. She thinks that everybody's the same, which is kind of funny because then she thinks that she only gets hated on because she's different. Interesting how she likes to play that. Anyways, when you break down female logic, it's just incredibly hypocritical. So while it may be legal, yeah, so why are you trying to throw dirt on the man's name? Most of these relationships are pretty icky with power imbalance. And bruh, take your intersectionality and shove it up your fucking withered old crotch. But yeah, as somebody who's 31, vastly different life stages, yeah, premenopause. But AO, she tried to dig herself out, but it's like, aha, I know somebody else who is really hated by the intersectional group. That would be Gina Carano. Let's pull her out of the closet and try to see if that scares anybody. Because she was obviously losing her back and forth, trying to pull out the interview of Cavill for GQ Australia, and it's like everybody's like, okay, cool. So he's just super based. What do you want us to find fault with? She's okay. She tries to present this like it's some big revelation. Yet they dated for years. It's not exactly a secret that Gina Carano and Henry Cavill, probably the sturdiest couple you could think of. Anyways, finding herself on the losing end of the very discourse as she had sparked, Frosk then proceeded to clarify her shaming of Cavill on the grounds that he briefly dated former Mandalorian star Gina Carano. I like to refer to her as, MMA pioneer, but whatever. It is big yikes energy. I just discovered he also dated her. What, that was back in what point in time? When she was bad as fuck. Ultimately, unable to truly garner any real support, Frost concluded her wildly swinging with a pathetic attempt to paint her critics as creeps. Oh my god, bruh. Okay, cool. He dates 19-year-olds and high-profile MMA stars. Okay, cool, great, wonderful, fantastic. He's a wealthy, famous man who likes attractive women. Yeah, big own you got yourself there. Like, okay. A lot of dudes out here think dating a teenager when you're 33 is totally fine. It is. It's legal, you fucking tard. Just because nobody wanted to approach you when you were 18 and 19 and that you were too busy, trying to hate from outside the club. Sucks to suck, I guess. It's totally fine, because it's illegal, she continued. Yeah, it can be fine, but it's also pretty fucked up and pretty fucking quick. A lot of self-reports, says the queen of self-snitching. Like, if you've ever wondered if you've had a bad take, or even just a series of bad takes, if there's anybody else that's out there, and you're looking for somebody who wakes up in the morning, takes a look at a news story, and consistently has the worst and most backwards takes alive, you can always just check in with Frost, because guaranteed she will find the way to be wrong about which way the sky is, or what color grass is. She's the gift that keeps on giving, but you wouldn't want to be receiving from her, and that's for true. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.